The match made last night. I was excited. Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler for the World Heavyweight Championship. Mr. Show-Off himself. Back. Going for the second time, actually third time this year in the World Heavyweight Championship match.
Yeah.
Actually, no, second, because the first time he was in the WWE Championship match. Wait, who's counting?
Give it to him.
Give it to him now?
Give it to him.
Whoa.
Give it to him. Let him have it. It's like, let him have it. Because it's like, how many times have we seen Ziggler in his main event picture for a long time? In these world title matches. And then he's in these world title matches, and he goes right back to doing something with Vicky and Jack Swagger, right?
Yeah.
We know he has something. We know that, okay, we've put him with Vicky, and we put him with... And there's only so much you can do with that.
Yeah.
Let him lose. I mean, Sheamus is they're trying to make him the top baby face outside of John Cena, so eventually they can turn John Cena heel. But it's like, I'm tired of seeing Ziggler in these matches and losing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, just give it to him. Let him have it. I mean, he technically has a world title championship on his belt. That they technically count that.
That's true.
But it's like, man, let him have it and just let him grow. Even if it's just for a short time. Like when Sheamus first got the belt, when he beat John Cena, he went to the table. I wasn't convinced that he was a WWE champion, but just the fact that they at least gave it to him, that's the first step. And then eventually, between rematches, he became a legit main event guy that was always in a world title picture. You know, despite when he fell off that United States champ, not really fell off, but that moment he really wasn't doing much.
Yeah.
But even then, you know, you have to start somewhere.
I will guarantee you this: if Dolph Ziggler wins that title Sunday, East Rutherford, New Jersey, will erupt.
Yeah.
I want to see him win the belt, and I'm glad you said that because, you know, when we talked before, I was like, well, maybe he deserves a type of build-up, but if you give him the belt, it will be kind of like Edge. Edge said himself, Vince McMahon was the only person who believed it. He said, all right, I'm giving this to you. Don't let me down.
Right.
With Dolph, it's kind of seemed like the same type of risk that it was with Edge.
Right.
But if Dolph wins that belt, there's no way I think that he will let them down because he's like us, you know, relatively around the same age, who just love the business, appreciates the business, and the opportunity to walk around with the title, why not? You know, I think he would make that... We saw what he did with the U.S. title.
Right.
How he made that seem like the most important belt on the Raw brand. Even more important when Cena was holding the WWE Championship at the time.
Right.
I think he would do that he would make that the most important championship in the company, and everybody would be watching.
And you know what the crazy part is? I don't give a crap how he wins it. I don't care if Vicky cheats to let him win. I don't care. You know what I do? Give him that belt and give him a microphone. Let him speak from the heart. Every guy has a gripe they want to talk about. You hear him in the ring saying stuff that he says. Yeah. Give him the title. Give him the mic. Watch what happens. Look at CM Punk.
Woo! I can see passion in your voice.
I mean, come on now. I'm sick of seeing this guy, like, he's there, and they're like, okay, he's showing he can do it, but listen, he's showing you what he can do. Now it's time for you guys to get the machine behind him and make him look that much more better. I mean, come on now.
And Cena said himself, he was doing a radio show shortly before WrestleMania. He said, look, if they gave a guy like a Dolph Ziggler a chance, you'd be surprised as to what this guy can do. He's like, he's that good. He said, you know, he's one of the funniest people. He kind of reminds, the way Cena was talking about it, kind of reminds me of Owen Hart. You know, and who we know was probably, at a lot of given times, the most talented person on the roster.
Yeah.
You know, and I would go as far as to say that Owen had, sometimes, was more talented than Shawn Michaels. And not saying take anything from Shawn Michaels, but let's remember, folks, around that mid-90s era, Shawn Michaels mentally wasn't where he was in 96. Right. So around 94, 95, when Owen was going back and forth with Bret, that's where you saw him at his peak. And this is what Dolph Ziggler reminds me of. But I hope, unlike Owen, Dolph can break through that glass ceiling and become the World Heavyweight Champion.
Now, I am disappointed that Del Rio's not in this match because I actually wanted Del Rio to go over. I want to see him as World Heavyweight Champion because I think Del Rio is my favorite heel on the roster right now. He's a complete package. I love his character. I love what he brings to the table. He's gotten back up to that place where he was before he left.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then for him to get hurt is unfortunate. But, hey, I don't mind a triple threat match.
One man's tragedy, in this sense, can be another man's fortune. We've seen it with Christian and Edge.
Right.
Is this possible that this happens with Dolph Ziggler because Del Rio gets hurt? Dolph gets that title run?
Hey, you listen.
Del Rio's a two-time WWE champion. yeah, I want to see him as World Heavyweight Champion. I'm pretty sure we will see it. But right now, I think Dolph is the perfect timing for him. I believe he's hot at the right moment. And when he broke off 2 weeks ago, or it was 2 weeks ago on Raw, and said, "I'm better than this," that lets you know the mere fact that he pinned Jack Swagger to win, to eliminate him out of that match, so it'd be him and Christian, lets you further know that, look, I'm not playing. I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna kick whoever's tail I have to kick to get to the top.
Let's take wrestling intelligence a step further. Look at what the WWE traditionally does with new world champions. This could really benefit both sides. They're nervous about Del Rio because he's injury prone. They're nervous about that. They don't want to get rid of him, but they're at least nervous about it. They're concerned about it. Okay, Sheamus he's an established guy. Okay, they're still trying to make new stars. You have a Dolph Ziggler, fresh world champion. When Daniel Bryan first won the title, didn't mean much, but what did he have to do? He defended it against two legit main eventers that made him look like a legit champion. Mark Henry, Big Show.
Yep.
Those wins over them made him look like a big deal. When Jeff Hardy first won the WWE Championship, he was a triple threat match with who? Triple H and Edge. That match made him legit world champion. Same thing with Sheamus and John Cena and who the heck was
Randy Orton.
And Randy Orton. Was it Randy Orton?
Yeah, that's who they wasn't triple threat, but that's who he beat consecutively.
There you go. Situations like that, it works out well because now not only do you have an established guy, you can keep your story going with Del Rio and Sheamus because now they can fight to see who's going to be the top guy, and you can establish Dolph Ziggler even if it's not a long time. You're establishing another main event star that's been there, that's reliable, that's healthy, that can work, and you don't have no issues out of. He has that boyish charm, he has that look. You can't go wrong with it.
Or let's go even further. Where you want to establish two stars. Some people might not be sold on Christian as a main eventer. You imagine the two matches that these two are going to put together. Wow. Think about in '99 when The Rock and Mankind were establishing each other as main eventers, back and forth. You know, even though it was Mankind was warming The Rock up for Austin, he was also establishing himself.
Exactly.
Because at that Survivor Series, there's no way you thought Mankind was going to win the WWE Championship.
Right. You
was like, nah, this guy, you even though he was under Vince, and when they pulled the ultimate double screwing, then you was like, okay. But then, as the time went on, you was like, wait a minute, this guy, Mick Foley, might be the WWE Champion. Sure enough, he was. This is where I think Dolph wins, Christian wins, or if Christian loses, oh my goodness. You know, but then you wonder, okay, what does that do with Sheamus? Well, I mean, at this point, you could even toss Sheamus over to Raw, but it probably wouldn't be the best idea at the moment. But you could see that coming, especially if they're trying to establish him soon to be the next top guy. Because you see how many Raw appearances he's making. Right. You know, I mean, I understand it's a super show, but he's opening up Raw every week with the microphone in his hand. Right. So, I mean, it's interesting. I can't wait.
So you say give Sheamus to Raw, let Christian run SmackDown.
Yeah.
Already there with Daniel Bryan, already with the Super Show, so it's not like they're not both back and forth on the show.
Exactly.
Del Rio, Randy Orton will be coming back, Chris Jericho will be coming back.
Yeah, so that's true.
It works out.
And then bring Orton back as a heel.
Why does everybody want to be heels now? Everybody wants to be a heel. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Randy Orton wants to turn heel. Big Show wants to turn heel. I don't know about Sheamus.
We know and then even if you have Dolph, cause I think Dolph could be a face personally. I think the people are gonna make him into a face. Yeah. You know, I think he'll turn on Vicky and he'll become a face. You have him as your top face and Orton as your top heel, or even if you take the belt off of Dolph for a little bit. I know we're going a little bit further, ladies and gentlemen, but that's what we do because this is the show for the intelligent wrestling fan.
Intelligence.
You take Dolph, take him out of the picture for a little bit, have him chase, but you have more classic battles between Christian and Randy Orton. Switch the sides. Now this one's the heel, this was the face. You can't go wrong with that. You throwing all these guys in the pot. You can't go wrong.
Cut us a paycheck, creative. We need to work for you guys, make some money. They probably would listen to us because politics. But still, we got good ideas.
Hey, I'm just saying.
It works. It works.
So, but yeah. As far as a legit prediction, my gut says
the obvious answer is obviously Sheamus. That's the obvious
answer.
But it's like you can't help but think they might do something different, you know. So that's a tough one.
Yeah. But moving on, I'm gonna go with will probably be the main event, which I don't think should be, but that's just me. John Cena versus the Big Show in a cage match. Big Show loses. Larry Knight is fired. Vince McMahon at ringside. Does Vince screw Cena?
No.
Okay.
Because if Vince screws Cena, that means he has to stay on TV. You know what I mean? Versus, okay, you fried Johnny Ace, Vince's business is done, he goes back to doing what he's doing. So that way he don't have to be a permanent staple on television.
Okay.
It's no stranger that Vince likes to come back to help out with the ratings, to make sure everything is situated, which he does a great job of course.
Certainly.
Because you don't see him a lot, and I think that's what makes a difference, because you don't see him a lot. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think Cena probably loses again.
Okay.
Because I like Cena's been putting a lot of people over. He's been losing a lot, but you know he never loses any steam, because if Cena loses, he gets the sympathy factor again. Because if you pay attention, he's getting less and less boos.
Yeah.
Because he's involved with storylines of people sort of hate more than Cena. Like at one point, it was cool to hate Cena because you want to see him Punk. It was cool to hate Cena because you wanted to see somebody else champion, yada yada yada, or whatever the case may be, or you wanted to see The Rock. Yep. But we're like, yeah, we only hate Cena because it's cool. But it's like, I really can't stand the Big Show. I really can't stand Johnny Ace. So I don't know. It might even go to a no contest or something. I don't know.
In a cage match? Hey, both of them land, I guess.
I have no idea. I don't know.
How about Big Show coming out there and really spilling his guts, saying probably everything he's been waiting to say? I'm a giant, but you wanted me to be playful. Talking to Vince, like, had me fight Floyd Mayweather, had me in the ring with Shaquille O'Neal. You know, I was on SportsCenter because that's the level with giant. But I don't know about this one. I just don't see Laurinaitis getting fired yet.
I can't. He's good at what he does. He is too good at what he does. He gets under people's skin. He makes you hate his guts to a T. I think he's a great general manager for that on-screen evil character. I think he was a great transition from Vince and from Triple H and from, you know, classic guys like Bischoff who you know, that just heelish general manager who never thinks he's doing anything wrong. It works. You know what I mean? You can't get rid of him somehow. I don't know. No offense, I don't want to see Teddy Long in charge of anything.
Okay.
Because it's like, okay, Teddy Long is there, but with Laurinaitis, you're invested in him because you can't stand him. You want to see the kind of crap he's going to pull the next. And then he has his own staple.
Yeah.
He has Eve, he has David Otunga. It's like staples are popping up all over the place, and people don't realize that.
Yeah. But let me ask you this, because let's go back to the 90s.
Okay.
Gorilla Monsoon was running things.
Right.
But you rarely saw him as much. And then go back even further. Jack Tunney was running things. You heard, well, President Jack Tunney declared this, but you rarely heard it. Do you think if Laurinaitis gets fired, that we go into an era like that where there'll be an authority figure, but you rarely see him?
See, once again, you don't know. Because it could go that way. It's like when you think about it and you put all the cards on the table, it really could go that way.
Because I'm thinking, like, is that possible? Or am I just going back a little too old school for this, that it wouldn't work for this time?
I mean, you say that, but it's like, look who's running things now. Triple H. He's going back to things, though. You know, it's not like he's going away from new things. Vince is the one that wants to start these new things. Yeah. Triple H is going back to the things that actually work. And you could. I mean, I think they tried that with the whole anonymous general manager thing, but that was sort of goofy because you had Michael Cole as a stool pigeon almost. And there really was no explanation for that in the first place.
Yeah, and they didn't ever tell us who it was.
Right. So I don't. Like I said, it's crazy because for the first time in a long time, we're both sitting here like I really have no idea. Like, because you could go that way. It's not like that's far fetched.
So you going with the Big Show, or you going with Cena, or you going with a no contest?
The obvious answer is that Super Cena wins, but Cena hasn't been winning a lot.
And I think that's purpose, like you said, to create the sympathy factor. It also shows a sports slump. Let's take the Boston Celtics in the final 2 minutes, 3 minutes of the game. Couldn't hit a shot. Right. And say Celtics because that's Cena's team. You know, being for Boston.
That green T-shirt keep wearing.
I know. You can't help but think of Celtics.
Right.
You see, they couldn't hit a shot. They was in that slump. And that's what it seems like John Cena is in. You know, he's won. The last match he won was Brock Lesnar, but he got his butt kicked.
Yeah, he barely won that.
You know, we haven't seen a legitimate Cena win since the ambulance match at Elimination Chamber. And
I think that's good for Cena because it takes that superhuman effect away from him, and he looks vulnerable. And it's like, man, it just really shows you how good he really is, though, because it's like, man, this guy's so good. You can't tell that he's losing. Yeah, like, you know, like if you think about it, Cena's lost like a majority of his matches, then it's like, dang, you can't even tell.
And we ain't see that in Hogan.
No, Hogan wasn't losing anything.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not losing nothing. Don't put my name on nothing with the L next to it, anything. Hogan was not losing anything. Right. Unless he was about to leave and wasn't coming back for a long time. But when he came back, he wanted his title shot back.
Yep, give me my belt back.
I'm coming out of retirement.
Yep. So, I don't know. I gotta go with the Big Show on this. I just can't see Laurinaitis leaving.